What's up, guys? We got a Sunday night football recap. We actually have a minute left in the game right now with Minnesota up 26-21. Seattle driving. Decided to start the stream a little early. See what happens here. One timeout remaining. They are on the 21-yard line of Minnesota. Very close game. Exciting game. We have it right here. Let's see. Russell Wilson drop back. Hits Metcalf on a slant. Ooh, got it about to the 6.5-yard line. 48, 47. Time's ticking. Time's not a factor anymore, though. They have enough. What do we got? 39-38. Russell in the shotgun. All right. Up. Gets it. Ooh, drop pass by, I think it was Moore. Tyler Lockett drop pass at the 1-yard line. All right, we have 28 seconds left. As I said, time's not really a factor because we're second and goal from about the 6.5-yard line. They have the whole playbook. They still have one timeout left. There's nothing really to be scared of on time-wise. They just have to punch it in. And it would be so sad to see Vikings lose this game with how well they played all day, except for a 7-minute period in the third quarter, and then this one drive. That's it. All right, we have 28 seconds. We have DK Metcalf in motion across the line. Russell Wilson in the shotgun takes the snap. Looking right, throws it to DK. Touchdown! No! No, wait, what? Number 21. Oh, my God. DK Metcalf had it. But Hughes comes out and knocks it out of his hands. 24 seconds, third and goal. Russell Wilson's like, hey, he had the ball with 2 feet in. That's enough. See, there's different rules when it comes. Oh, that's a touchdown, I think. He had 1, 2. That's a touchdown. Because in the end zone, I'm pretty sure if you have 2 feet down and possession, it's over. That's it. You can't get it knocked out. Holy moly, this is amazing play. Oh, they're not even going to challenge it? There's no review process in the last 2 minutes? They're not even going to look at it? Okay, 24 seconds, third and goal from the 6-yard line. DK Metcalf again in motion. Russell in the shotgun, takes the snap, looking right, throws a fade to DK, but he just got really held by number 21 right at the line. Didn't even have a chance to go by him. He just put his hands on and jammed him up at the line. Ball was in the air. Probably should have been a PI, in my opinion. But it wasn't, and we have 4th and goal. We already had a 4th and 10 on this drive, and DK Metcalf came up big. Wow, what a game here. All right, 20 seconds left. This is it, 4th and goal. 3 receivers wide to the left. Minnesota, Seahawks call their final timeout. They wanted to see what the defense was like, and let's get reset. Let's see what they have. We have the final timeout. We may as well use it because this is the final play of the day. Let's see if they're going into commercial break. Whew, maybe not. I think they might just be waiting for it. Wow, DK Metcalf dropped pass. That was huge. He had it in the end zone. I'm shocked that they did not go to any booth review. No challenge flag thrown. They may not have any challenges. I don't remember now off the top of my head. But, wow. Wow. Yeah, do you send pressure here? That's what the commentators are saying. Russell Wilson can fry you up on some pressure, though. And Seahawks have the receivers to do it. They have DK and they have Tyler Lockett and then Moore. All right, Russell Wilson's coming back in. They're going into the huddle. Just do not throw an interception to Malcolm Butler. Oh, sorry, too soon. All right, they have a bunch formation. 2 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Running back in there. Russell Wilson in the shotgun. Trying to jump him off sides. Oh, they're calling a couple of plays. Trying to jump him off sides. All right, he calls hike. Here it is. This is it. And Russell. And he got it. DK Metcalf. He redeems himself. Got a touchdown. Touchdown number 2 on the day. Game over. Not quite with 15 seconds. Anything can happen. They have to go for 2 to try to go up by 3 because if something crazy happens and Vikings get inside field goal range, they could still win this game. But Russell Wilson on 4th and goal again cuts them like a knife. Holy moly, moly, mole. Wow, what a day here. Does he catch it? Review. Looks good to me. Nice and clean. Wow. Holy crap. What a catch. DK Metcalf. They go to him again on the 2-point play. They went to him 3 times already. And no 2-point conversion is good. They were trying to get it into Carson. Carson cannot get it contained. So we have 1 kickoff, which I'm sure we're going to see a squib kick. 1 kickoff return. Minnesota does have 2 timeouts, so they can throw it anywhere in the field and get a timeout really quickly. But I think you almost have to freaking kneel it as soon as you get it. You don't want to waste time running it. Wow, on 4th and goal from the 6, he finds DK Metcalf. Pressure in his face. Number 95 was right there on him. Wow, what a freaking play. Russell Wilson's pumped. Fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, as I said, Minnesota's going to lose this game. And they've almost played a perfect game minus 7 minutes in the 3rd quarter and then this final 2-minute drive. What a they're going to go down to 1-4 on the season, but they took a 4-0 team to the wire, and they are much better than 4-0. Tough, tough, tough. Change the title on this bad boy. Man, screw Dalvin Cook getting injured. Russell Wilson, magic. Russell Wilson magic. Save. What do we got here? All right, get out of bounds. Nice. You got a couple of extra yards. 10 seconds. Okay? They're going to leave with timeouts. The timeouts are not a factor right now. Russell Wilson is pumped on the sidelines. He didn't even play poorly today. We'll go over his stats in a minute. It's just crazy right now. Okay, Kirk Cousins. Cousins. Oh, incomplete. Oh, they're going to call it a fumble? No. Yeah, you're going to have to challenge that. No way. They're trying to say that was a fumble. I think his arm was definitely going forward on that. Yeah, that is not a fumble. That's a forward pass. Come on. Okay. Wow, they said the previous play, they were like, this is the end of the game. Like, wait a minute, are you not going to review that? Like, holy moly. Current bit rate lower than recommended. We recommend audio stream bit rate of 120 frame. Okay. This will be a fun one to go over. The audio stream's current bit rate is lower than recommended. We recommend to use audio stream bit rate. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is definitely going to be an incomplete pass with about 6 seconds left. But is that they only have time for one play to get into field goal range. We shall see if they can do it. This is tough for the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook going down with injury, and you lose it. Talking about add insult to injury. Tough day for him. They ruled it a fumble anyway! Wow! Wow! Holy shnikes, they ruled it as a fumble. No way! Oh, no. I mean, there was really no chance of winning this game anyway, but that is a terrible way to end this game. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, welcome to the show. We have a nice recap for you. A tough game, a nice game, a game that came down to the wire. That's what we like to see. We have 27-26 Seahawks top Minnesota. Minnesota moved to 1-4, and Seahawks moved to 5-0. Russell Wilson on the day, 20 completions, 32 attempts, 217 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He did have 1 interception. It was tough sledding in that first half. He only had 70 yards in the first half. He doubled his total in the second half, but he had 4 sacks and lost 27 yards on the day. All of those came in the first half. Minnesota played a beautiful game in the first half. They were winning at halftime 13-0. Dalvin Cook was crushing it. He already had 17 carries, 60 yards or something, maybe 15 carries, 60 yards. So averaging 4 yards a carry, already had a touchdown. Looked like they were going to run it down their throats. And then he gets hurt, pulls a groin, it looks like. He was at least holding his groin. It was a non-contact injury. Very sad to see for the great Dalvin Cook, leading the league in rushing, and it looks like he is going to be out probably. Usually a pulled groin, I think, is probably 3 to 5 weeks, maybe, something like that. So he's going to be out for a little bit because I've had a pulled groin, and those things suck. Alexander Mattison came in, though, and basically took off right where he left off. 20 carries, 112 yards for the young man, Alexander Mattison. So really, it was not a run game problem. Kirk Cousins, so as I said, they were up 13-0, and after the halftime, there was a 7-minute stretch where it went from 13-0 to 21-13. Seahawks took the lead, and Kirk Cousins threw an interception. Russell Wilson was fantastic. DK Metcalf caught a touchdown. Will Dissly also caught a touchdown, and Chris Carson. That's his name, right? Good God. Now I'm second guessing myself. Yep, Chris Carson. 8 carries, 52 yards, and 1 touchdown. They did not have opportunities to run the ball very often in this game because, as I said, Minnesota played so well. They were stuffing them. Let's look at the team stats. Yeah, Seahawks 0 for 7 on 3rd down on the day. That's insane. That's unbelievable. They were 2 for 2 on 4th downs, which came on that final drive. There was a 4th and 10, needed it, got it to DK Metcalf for about 20 yards, and then there was the 4th and goal from the 6-yard line at the end of the game to win it. And so those were incredible. Minnesota 6 for 14 from 3rd, 2 for 3 on 4th down, and they messed up big time going for it on 4th down. They were in field goal range to potentially ice this game out, or at least make it where they had to get a 2-point conversion, right? Or no, I think it would have been icing it out because 29, 21. No, okay. So they would have had to have gotten a 2-point conversion to tie it, but they decided to run the ball on 4th and 1 and did not get it. And that gave Russell Wilson an opportunity, and he took full advantage. Man, Minnesota total yards 449, Seahawks 314. Time of possession. This is one of the most craziest stats you'll ever see. Oh, no. This is unbelievable. Time of possession was almost 40 minutes to 20 minutes. Minnesota held the ball 2-1 on the day, and they still find a way to lose. 2 turnovers were critical in this game, and a turnover's their own down. So that's basically 3 turnovers. 1 turnover for the Seahawks on the day. 6 penalties, 55 yards for the Vikings. 3 penalties, 25 yards for the Seahawks. So neither of them really had too many penalties that killed them. 201 rushing yards for Minnesota, and you still lose this game. That is the magic of Russell Wilson. What a day for the man, the myth, the legend. MVP caliber season so far, and this is incredible. I don't want to draft Trey Lance in the first round. Okay, that's a Redskins question. We'll talk about that later. Seahawks didn't deserve to win. I know. Look at these stats. Everything says Seahawks lose this game except for the final score. It's unbelievable. It should have been incomplete. Even broadcasters said it was incomplete. Yeah, hail. The final touchdown? No, that was not incomplete. That was complete pass. The first one also should have been complete, because if they have a 2 hands, or if you catch it with 2 feet in the end zone, I believe is an automatic touchdown. I don't think the football move comes into play, because if you guys remember, at least the Redskins fans will remember, but there was a play where I believe it was Jordy Nelson for Green Bay. I'm almost positive. It was we were playing against Green Bay, and I think it was Jordy Nelson back in the day, where he caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone, and immediately Josh Norman punched it out of his hands, and it should have been incomplete, just like what they did, but they said, nope, 2 feet in, and in the end zone is automatic touchdown. They didn't even review it. Unbelievable for the Seahawks. Luckily, it did not matter, because they come back 2 downs later and score the touchdown. But that could have given Minnesota more time to potentially win this game, so it actually went into Seahawks' favor. Not the final touchdown, I mean the last passing play where they said it fumbled. Oh, completely. It was definitely incomplete. 100% Alti, absolutely. Completely agree. I feel like teams that win and lose based off what city they play in, I'm not lying. I feel like teams that win and lose, it's based off what city they play in. I'm not lying. I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. Fair enough. But yeah, and unbelievable. 190 passing yards when you minus the sacks, 248 for Minnesota. They beat them in every single stat that matters except for points. Except for points. The time of possession I'll never get over. 39 minutes, 28 seconds, 20 minutes to 32 seconds. That's incredible. Unbelievable stats. Like, this game is Minnesota's 99 times out of 100, but Russell Wilson he's a freak, man. He knows how to, like, it started the drive with like a 12, 13-yard run for Russell. I mean, he was backed up and deep into his territory, and he starts out with a 12-yard run. Unbelievable. Man, what other stats do we have on the day? DK Metcalf, 6 catches, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Most of those came in the second half. Fantastic finish for DK Metcalf. Adam Thielen, 9 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of those came in the second half, one came in the first half. So good day for Thielen on 13 targets, that is. Carson, only 8 carries but for 52 yards, and Russell Wilson, 5 carries for 58 yards. Seattle, with Homer running 3 times, only had 16 carries in a win. They had an unbelievable low amount of plays. They only had the plays, 48 plays to Minnesota's, holy crap, 80 plays, 48 plays to 80 plays, and you lose the game. Oh, that hurts. That hurts so bad. Oh my goodness. And Kirk Cousins had a fumble lost. That's tough, man. That hurts so bad to see. I feel so bad for Minnesota. Minnesota is much better than 1-4. Joshua Mills over here on the comments is spamming me saying fire Zimmer. I don't think so. I think he's a good coach. He beat the Saints last year in the playoffs. I think he's a pretty good coach. I think that you need to get rid of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. We know about Kirk Cousins over here in DC, and he is not what you want at the quarterback position because there's no way he loses this game. Like, you have a top half of the league quarterback, and you do not lose this game on any. There's no way you lose. So, very tough day. I'm sorry if you are Joshua Mills. If you are a Vikings fan, I am very sorry. Robinson and Boyd for Thielen. You talking about a trade? Robinson and Boyd for Thielen. Thielen, rather, no D at the end. I don't think so. I think I keep Robinson and Boyd. Boyd had a bad day because they went against Ravens, so don't worry about Boyd. And Robinson, with Nick Foles, I think Robinson can be fine. No, what I'm trying to say is that teams that win the city that they play in usually have a Republican mayor, and teams that lose mostly have Democrat mayors. Seattle, I'm pretty sure, has a Democratic mayor. So that is not a fact. I don't even know why you said that. That's funny. Joshua Mills, Kirk might be bad, but they can't really do anything about it. Dude, it was a 7-minute stretch. You really lost this game in 9 minutes. That's insane. It only took 9 minutes for Seattle to beat you. Yo, I had Dak now, and I need a QB. I'm so sorry. Go get Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton will do just fine in that offense because it's built to succeed wherever the QB is. He has Amari Cooper. He has Michael Gallup. He has CeeDee Lamb. He has Schultz, the tight end, Zeke Elliott out of the backfield, and Tony Pollard out of the backfield, and a top 5 offensive line. Andy Dalton will be a fine, he will be a top 10 quarterback in fantasy, in my opinion. He will do just fine. Joshua Mills, it's depressing. I know, I'm so sorry. Even if it wasn't a fumble, they had 10 seconds. I know, right? If it wasn't a fumble, though, the thing is that if you had they would have had 6 seconds, I think, after that particular play. If it was an incomplete play, if it was an incomplete pass, they would have had 6 seconds to potentially win the game, and they had a chance because all they needed to do was get into field goal range, and they had 2 timeouts, so that would be just fine. We kick the field goal, we probably win. I agree. I mean, even if you don't win, it's a tie game and you're going into overtime. I think you have to kick the field goal there. It's kind of I think it was too risky. I already have Kamara and CMC in a 14-team PPR. That's fantastic. And you have Robinson and Boyd. You're not doing too bad. All right, right? You're the one that asking about Robinson. No, you weren't that. Sorry, Scriv is another guy. That's all. I don't know how you did that. How in the world did you get CMC and Kamara in a 14-team league? That doesn't seem right at all. What kind of form do you think A.J. Brown will return to? I'm hoping a decent form because I have him in one of my leagues. But no, I think A.J. Brown has a chance to do pretty decent. They go against Buffalo. Buffalo's a solid defense, but Ryan Tannehill, they have Derrick Henry over there in the run game. I think that A.J. Brown could have a fine day. I would say maybe like 5-6 catches, somewhere between 70, 90 yards, and a potential touchdown. Yeah, and Washington, D.C. has a Democratic mayor, and so does Miami, and NYC does, and Atlanta does. Okay, but we already established Seahawks. The Seattle has a Democratic mayor, and they're 5-0. So I don't know what you're trying to say to me, hail to the Redskins for life. Scriv, I'm 3-1, traded dude who was 1-3, gave him David Johnson, Antonio Gibson for Brandon Ayuk and CMC. What a crazy person. You don't trade CMC. I don't care if he's hurt. He's just somebody that you leave on your bench because if he comes back, he's going to be good. But now since Dak out, I would go get Andy Dalton. Seriously, that's not a bad idea. Should I trade James White, J.D. McKissick, and Minshew for Pat Mahomes and Laviska Shenault? That's the Jacksonville guy, I believe. Yeah, if you can get that, I would get Pat Mahomes easily. He's a monster. Even in a loss, he had like 30-something points in most leagues. So, yeah, definitely go get Pat Mahomes for sure. But, okay, so wow, what a freaking day. They had 11 drives apiece. Yeah, total plays, 52 for the Seahawks and 83 for the Vikings. That hurts your feelings, doesn't it? That hurts. Yeah, my lineup for a 14 PPR will be, should I bench Kyler Murray in my fantasy? No, I think that they just played, the Jets defense isn't as bad as their record. I think their offense is abysmal, but their Jets defense are actually decent, and he still has so many weapons. I still like Kyler Murray. I'm not giving up on Kyler. I have him in one of my leagues. I would keep Kyler. Depends on who you have on your bench, though, too. I have Chubb and Drake. Rip. Did Drake get hurt today? I have him in one of my leagues. I hope he didn't get hurt. That sucks. Joshua Mills, yes. I don't know what that was. 2. Scriv, Mahomes, Kamara, CMC, Mike Evans, Edelman, Gesicki, Tonyan, and at tight end. I like Gesicki better than Tonyan. And Justin Jefferson, flex. Colts D, Bullock, kicker, has most points out of all kickers. Yeah, I love your team. But you don't have Mahomes yet, right? You would have to try to trade for that. Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome team. Especially in a 14-man team. That's fantastic. That's beyond fantastic. Because Kamara and CMC is just unfair. I don't know who the hell traded you Kamara. That was ridiculous. I'm down 17 but have Kamara and Murray playing tomorrow. What do you think? I win easy? I would hope so. Kamara should have 17 by himself, let alone whatever Murray has. Whatever Murray gets, that's just a bonus. Bro, we're not here to talk about fantasy advice. We're here to discuss our Redskins. What's up, Mike Pryor? Man, you weren't here earlier. We were talking about the Redskins after the game, my man. Where were you earlier? Yeah, just accept the Mahomes right now. That's awesome. I would take Mahomes in a heartbeat. Fantastic. You think we can win the next 4? We can. Will we? That's the $1 million question. But we definitely can. Giants, Cowboys, Giants. Who's the 4th team? Look that up right now. Schedule is Detroit, Cincinnati. We can win the next 5, man. Screw the next 4. Cincinnati, Detroit, Giants, Dallas, and Dallas. We can win the next 6. I don't think we'll beat Pittsburgh. We can beat San Francisco because they just got crushed by Miami. They're beat to hell. So we could definitely beat San Francisco. We're not going to beat Seahawks. We can beat Carolina, even though they look pretty tough, and we can beat Philly. We have a chance to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. So we can go 10-6 this season. That's realistic. And, I wouldn't say, it's realistic, not probabilistic. I wouldn't say that we're probably going to do that, but we definitely have a chance. Drafted Kamara, traded CMC, especially with Alex Smith. If Alex Smith is going to be our starter, I think that Ron Rivera said that he's going to go with Kyle Allen, which I don't know why he didn't put Kyle Allen back in if that's who he wanted to go with, but he kept in Alex Smith, and I don't know why. Sean Taylor, overrated. You should be banned from life, okay? That is very mean. He was not overrated. He is overrated in a sense because people are like, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He didn't play long enough to be in the Hall of Fame, but when he was on the field for the 4 years that he was in the NFL, he was one of the best safeties in the league. My bad, had basketball practice. Georgetown is no joke. Fair enough. Fair enough. Tim is the man. Just subscribed. Appreciate it, Levita. Appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Sean Taylor is not overrated. I know, right? He's not overrated. He's overrated only in the sense of people go crazy and say that he should be in the Hall of Fame. That's the only reason that I would say he's somewhat overrated. But other than that, when he was on the field, he was one of the best safeties in the league. I told you I would be. What's up, Chris? How's it going, man? I know you weren't here for the Redskins talk, but I'm sure that's where it's going to go eventually. But tough. I've had us losing the rest of our games, except Carolina and Detroit, and have us going 13-3. No, I think we can beat the Giants. Giants looked good because they were going against Dallas's horrible defense. Our defense is better than theirs, and so we have a chance to beat them. Viking cursed against Seahawks. I know, right? I mean, I can't believe it. For you guys who just joined, check out this stat. This stat is unbelievable because on this channel I like to harp on time of possession, and Russell Wilson basically smacked me in the face and said, I don't care about time of possession. Minnesota Vikings had 39 minutes 28 seconds of time of possession. Seahawks 20 minutes 32 seconds of time of possession. They had 2-1 on time of possession, and they find a way to lose this game. Unbelievable. Really, the only other thing they did is that they did have too many penalties comparatively. 6 penalties to 55 yards. They had 2 turnovers, and they gave up 2 fourth downs. But Minnesota played a fantastic game. It's just the Russell Wilson factor and Kirk Cousins turning the ball over in that third quarter. There was that 7-minute stretch that ended the Vikings' day. Very, very tough. Dak is out for the season. Now we will get 8 wins. Andy Dalton is not somebody to play with, so he's not great, but he has taken these type of teams to double-digit winning seasons. So Andy Dalton is not bad. I said before the season, the Cowboys should say, screw you, Dak. We don't need to pay you that much money. We will pay Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton can lead this team, and then we could go get people like, I don't know, Jadeveon Clowney, or I can't remember what other defensive players were out there at the time, but basically bolster up that defense with that cap space instead of spending $34 million on Dak Prescott. And then you have Andy Dalton that has taken good teams, good surrounding units to 4 10-win seasons. So Andy Dalton's a capable quarterback, especially the older you get in quarterback, the smarter you are, the more experience you have, you can do that. It's good. Oh, yeah, we have the worst guards in the league for the Vikings. I mean, that's fair. I know that the Vikings offensive line is nothing fantastic, that's for sure. We're the Cleveland Browns of 2016. Vikings had that game, but 21 points in 5 minutes. Yeah, it was about 7 minutes, but yeah, still, nonetheless, it was, because it was 8:01 where they scored that last touchdown. Very tough. We're the Cleveland Browns of 2016. I'm sorry to hear that. Never seen Russell so discontent with playing quarterback in the first half. I mean, 36 gross yards in the first half. I know. He had 70 yards, and then he had 47 yards, I think, on sacks, right? No, 27 yards. So 70 is whatever that puts you at. 43 yards. It's 43 gross yards as far as passing, but 5 carries, 58 yards. Critical. Cowboys won't win many games moving forward. Eagles are awful. Giants played well, but still trash. We got this, man. We got this. Prayers for Dak, though. He has to get what he can and get down. This is why, if you are a NFL player, which none of us are, but if any NFL player is somehow listening to me, take the contract. He now left $70 million on the table because he did not take that contract. He said, you know what, I'll bet on myself. Well, now he broke his ankle. Nobody's going to pay him big money when he comes back. He left $70 million on the table, and that sucks. Did anyone else notice Colt McCoy was in a Giants uniform today? Yes, I knew that he was the backup to Daniel Jones, which is why Daniel Jones is still playing. Not to mention, I don't think Daniel Jones is as bad as some people think he is. I think he right now is on a terrible team, and he's trying to do too much, which then hurts his stats. This is why Dak should have taken the long-term deal. You could book it. He won't be playing for Dallas moving forward. Thank you, Chris. I said the same thing just a minute ago. Hail to the Redskins for life. I don't want to draft Trey Lance in the first round as much as I like him. I want to draft offensive tackle in the first round and then draft a late-round quarterback and then let him sit for a year. I think it'll be a mistake to let Trey Lance go if we have an opportunity to get him, so I want to go get Trey Lance. We can build an offensive line through free agency or for later in the draft or whatever, because we have the cap space to sign basically anybody, especially once we cut Alex Smith. I hate being a Redskins fan. Hey, we'll be okay. No, Drew Samia is dead last in PFF. He's literally the worst. Was even worse tonight. So if someone catches that fumble, is it considered a handoff? LOL, food for thought. If someone catches that fumble, is it considered a handoff? No, if you catch a fumble, then it's an interception. We all know that. We don't need to draft linemen. We have cap space for that, and we need a QB for the future. If Trey Lance is there, you take him, period. Chris, what are we, reading each other's minds? What are we doing here? Dwayne Trashkin's trade destinations. I hope it's anywhere but here, personally. If we can get anything for him in a trade, that is a good deal for us. Madison, honestly, was a good replacement to Dalvin Cook. I knew that. I mean, the only thing that holding out Alexander Madison as a fantasy option was the fact that he was behind Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is a monster, which obviously you're going to give Cook a lot of carries. But yeah, Alexander Madison, he's come in to replace Dalvin Cook in the past, and he's always done really well. I don't know if you're a baseball guy, but Chris Davis for the Orioles did it. He had one great season, signed a $100 million contract, In the past 6 years, he's been awful, but still making money. Always take the deal. Always take the deal, Mitchell Wasmus. How's it going, Wasmus? Livy Todd, no, I was considering an offensive player catching it, but just some post-game goof. Okay, well, if it's a fumble, is it considered a handoff if an offensive guy gets it? I mean, that's kind of funny to think about because it did go forward, so but it wasn't a pass. So yeah, I guess if you catch it, no, it's considered. But if he catches it, is it a handoff? Very interesting question. Fair enough. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think we should trade Landon Collins and Dwayne Haskins for Allen Robinson. I think that'll be perfect trade. Bears need a QB for the future. Chris, I like it. I like that a lot, actually. We get a good weapon, and we get rid of the contract of Landon Collins, and we get rid of Dwayne Haskins and get something. I like it. Sean 2.0 YouTube, I subscribe, bro. Keep up the hard work. Love it. Appreciate it, Sean. Thank you very, very much for subscribing. I really appreciate the subscribers. You know, since I started the channel and since the season started, it's almost doubled in size. So awesome. Thank you guys for subscribing. We also have no receivers, and why isn't Peyton Barber playing? I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to run behind this offensive line, but I don't think that Antonio Gibson had a good day. Even despite the offensive line, I think he played a little bit too hesitant. He didn't try to get downfield. He didn't have the big burst through the hole. I think he struggled a lot today against this defensive line. So I don't know. Peyton Barber is not going to give us much better results. He's not all that great. I mean, I think he's okay, but he's nothing like. I think Antonio Gibson's a better running back, to be honest. He has more upside. That 4th and 10 play, the first down line and sidelines instead of blitzing, that was the worst call of the game, in my opinion. It's tough, but you have to play contain on Russell, and blitzing Russell is kind of like blitzing. So sending a blitz on Russell it's not really going to get you the results you want. I agree. I wonder what the blitz rate was tonight, because he did have 4 sacks of 27 yards, but that was more coverage sacks rather than rush sacks because the coverage was really good in the first half. So I agree. Don't send the house at Russell. You just have to play contain. Don't let him get outside and cover the receivers. You know, play zone, like a man-zone combo, and try to cover him. They're saying Haskins will be gone by the deadline or before it. I will take that. I so hope you're right. I mean, that would be music to my ears. If we get anything for Haskins, that's a deal for us. Apke or Cam Curl? I've liked Curl as of late in what he's done, but Apke is only there for speed, yet he can't cover or tackle. It's terrible. Apke's absolutely abysmal, but DeShazer Everett came in and played, and he had, like in the first half, he let one of their drives continue on a 3rd and 10 by giving a critical PI. So DeShazer Everett didn't have a great day either. Who is your MVP, Rodgers or Russ? Man. I'm curious. I'm looking up their stats, both stats now. I'm just kind of curious now. Russell Wilson stats. We have 1,285 yards, 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 2 5-touchdown days already in this. Oh, is that doesn't even include what he had today. That's 3 more, so he has 19 touchdowns. Okay, so this doesn't even include what he's already done in his 5th game, so I can't compare that, and I'm sure they already updated Aaron Rodgers stats, right? No, Aaron Rodgers is on a bye week, so yeah, we can still look at that. Aaron Rodgers stats. Let's see here. So in 2 games, we have 1,214 yards and 13 touchdowns but no interceptions. That's amazing. I think I give it to Russell because I think Russell's more important to the Seahawks team than Aaron Rodgers, which is crazy to say because Aaron Rodgers is extremely important to the Packers. But because Aaron Jones, I think, is a top-tier running back right now, and I think that I would kind of lean towards Russell Wilson, what he's doing, especially if you consider the run yards. So I would lean towards Russell Wilson as of right now. It seems like all Scott Turner calls his draws. I don't know if that's true. I'm going to look at the film again later. I watched the game, but I don't think that's true. As a Redskins fan, were you happy you let Adrian Peterson go? Happy? I was not happy, but I wasn't necessarily mad either. I was more surprised. I did not expect it at all. When we cut Adrian Peterson, that was a big surprise to me. I thought he was definitely going to be on the squad. But it was kind of like, oh, they must really like Antonio Gibson, our young running back. So I wasn't super upset about it. So I think it was okay to cut him and see what our young bucks can do. That was kind of what the season was about, is to see what our young players can do, because we are one of the youngest teams in the NFL probably, if you actually look at the averages. Maybe take away Thomas Davis off our team, who's like 37 or something, and our team is extremely young. So this was a building year. We just got a new coach, new coaching staff. We have a young quarterback, a lot of young pieces around him. So we were trying to build a team. So I think getting rid of Adrian Peterson was okay, and we weren't trying to win this year anyway. So I wasn't happy. I wasn't mad. It was kind of like I understood what he was trying to do. And just trade for Trace McSorley. I know that name. Tracy McSorley. Oh, the quarterback from Penn State? No, I don't want that. No. No, thanks. No, I don't want anything to do with that. No, thank you. Just stick with Alex Smith, and Kyle Allen is your backup, is my position. Trade destinations for Haskins: Patriots, Steelers, Bears, Lions, Raiders, Colts. I think if you trade him to the Lions, you send Landon with him and get Kenny Galladay. If you trade him to the Colts, get T.Y. I do not want T.Y. He's old and injury prone. Kenny Galladay is a little bit injury prone as well, but I would be more interested in Kenny Galladay. But I like the Robinson, I think, the most out of those things. Steelers, I don't think Steelers want him. Patriots don't want him with all these concerns about his work ethic. They don't want him. So I like the Bears the best. Raiders are doing well with Derek Carr, so I think they want to, especially that game against the Saints. Derek Carr looked phenomenal on that Monday night. Josh Jacobs played well, but Derek Carr was fantastic. So I don't think they want to get rid of Derek Carr. I think they'll keep him. In part, with bad clock management, playing the wrong QBs, not calling timeouts, I think Ron is secretly tanking so he can get his guy at QB. I don't think he's tanking. I think he's trying to see what he has, which may end up to look like tanking. But he's not trying to lose games. You don't want to try to lose. Pittsburgh was looking to trade Bud Dupree. I'll definitely trade Haskins and Collins for Bud Dupree in a heartbeat, and get a 4th-round pick also. How old is Bud Dupree? I don't know how old he is. He's 27. We don't really need defensive ends. I don't think we can make another trade for a defensive end. I don't think so. What is the score of the Hawks game if they had Adams? If they had Jamal Adams, what would the score of the game be? I mean, this was a freaking fantastic day for the run game, so I don't think he would have stopped the run game all that much more. I know he's a decent cover safety. He would definitely be in the box helping but I mean, Dalvin Cook is just one of the best, and Madison's a fantastic backup. So I don't know if the score would have been that much different. I think Minnesota's a really good team. It's unfortunate they're 1-4. They played a tough schedule. So I don't think it would have been that much different personally. Top 5 teams right now. I think you have to put obviously the Seahawks, obviously the Packers. I think the Bills are in that conversation. Kansas City just lost today. I would have definitely said them, and I still probably would put them in my top 5, to be honest. I think Raiders looked pretty good today. I wouldn't quite put the Raiders in my top 10, even though they won today, or top 5. So my 5th team would probably be the Ravens, I guess. So there's my top 5, I guess, and not in any particular order. So Seahawks, Packers, Buffalo, who did I just say? Ravens and Kansas City. some order of those. Those are my top 5. Haskins, Collins, Apke all need to go. Anything we can get for a good receiver. We can't have Isaiah Wright out there. He looks remedial. I don't mind getting rid of Haskins or Collins, so I'm with that. He's a linebacker. It says defensive end over here. Bud Dupree, defensive end. Does he also play outside linebacker? I think they also play a fourth. Don't they play a 3-4 defense over in Pittsburgh? I don't think they play a 4-3. Let's look at the Steelers depth chart. Where is he actually listed? Yeah, they play a 3-4. So he's listed at right inside linebacker. No, it's Evan Bush. Sorry. Yeah, he's listed as an outside linebacker. So he's like that. But we play a 4-3 defense. So he would play defensive end for us. Outside linebackers are, because Ryan Kerrigan was an outside linebacker for a long time when we were in that 3-4. He wasn't a down lineman. He was on that outside linebacker spot. But when we switched to a 4-3, Ryan Kerrigan moved to defensive end, just like Ryan Anderson as well. So that's exactly what Bud Dupree would be in our offense, or our defense, He would be, but he is better than Ryan Anderson as as a backup defensive end. So I don't necessarily hate the play, but I think I would rather go get a weapon of some sort, like a receiver, if I'm trading Collins. Send Haskins and Collins to the Falcons. Ridley becoming their number 1, and Julio's role is diminishing there. They need a new WH and anybody in their secondary. I like that trade, but I don't know. If we can somehow get Calvin Ridley, that's insane. You can put him at linebacker. He plays there a lot. I know he plays outside linebacker, but it's just like Ryan Kerrigan playing outside linebacker. It's the same similar situation. We trade Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph for Marshawn Lattimore and a 4th-round pick. Do you really want to trade Adam Thielen away, though? I mean, he's just a guy that you really like to have on your team. And Kyle Rudolph's a really good tight end. Who's your backup tight end over there, Josh? If I was the Redskins, I would trade for our 2021 4th-round pick to the Buccaneers or for O.J. Howard. Trade our 4th-round pick. Yeah, I would love to go get O.J. I was hoping that we were getting him in the offseason. No, that's a dumb trade. Which one are you speaking of, Chris? I don't know which one you're thinking. Speaking of Chris, Marshawn Lattimore is inconsistent. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would want to get rid of Adam Thielen personally. And Kyle Rudolph. I know he's getting up there in age, though. How old is Kyle Rudolph? He's been in the league quite some time. Kyle Rudolph is 30. Yeah, he's getting up there, man. Definitely getting up there. Man, he hasn't even played that well so far. But yeah, they lost to Green Bay, the Colts, Tennessee, and now the Seahawks. Hey, they should get a win next week against Atlanta, though. So, hey, Moss was injured and Marcus Ball, too. Okay, hold on. Didn't we draft a tight end? Oh, shoot, you retracted the message before I could read it. So, never mind. We released Thad Moss. Yeah, we kind of released him on an IR tag, so that is why Thaddeus Moss did not get it, but we didn't want him on the team anyway. Ish Smith Jr., which is a good tight end. Okay. If you have a good tight end to back up Kyle Rudolph, then I don't, but at the same time, I don't think I want to trade Adam Thielen. How old is he now? He's getting up there too. Thielen is 30 as well. I don't know. I kind of want to keep both of those guys. I like both. I don't think I would make that trade. Mike Pryor. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's what happened to Moss. Marcus Ball was not on the game because of apparently a death in the family. He did not come to today's game because of death in the family. So, very unfortunate. Sad to hear. Always. Yeah, Madison also had 3 catches in the pass game. 3 catches, 24 yards. He had a fantastic day, over 130 total yards on the day when he wasn't on the field except for 2.5 quarters. So, no, only like a quarter and a half, really, because Cook got hurt early in the third. Our linebackers are bad too. Yeah, I know our linebackers are really bad. I'm not happy with our linebackers. Bostic had a horrible day. Horrible. We will need a cornerback above all else. I mean, I don't know. Your defense played pretty decent except for the 7 minutes in the third quarter and Russell Wilson being a magical man in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, that's tough. That's a tough. You'll be okay. You'll be okay, Josh. I know it seems like hell right now because you're 1-4, and you may not have a good season now, but you'll turn around. Your main problem is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is not good enough to be your quarterback, and you need to fix your quarterback situation. And there's quarterbacks in this coming up draft that are very interesting. Of course, you have Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. We love Trey Lance here for Washington, and then you also have There's another one that's really Trask, I think it is. He's another really good one, and I'm sure there's other ones too. So there's a lot of interesting quarterbacks coming up in this year's draft. Do you see Gibson becoming a number one back down the road, or do you see us rolling out with the assembly line we have been? I still like Gibson. I think he had a bad day today. He definitely needs to grow and learn more of the nuances of being a NFL running back, but I think he has the talent there to be a really good running back. He has size. He's 6 foot, like 225. The speed, he runs a 4.3 40, just under a 4.4. And once he learns the vision and the feel for how to be patient with the line, but yet hit the holes hard and be also concise. Being patient is not hesitant. Okay, you're being patient because you're letting the holes develop, but you're not being hesitant where you're kind of like, okay, what is going on? What's going on? You're just letting it happen, and then once it's there, you hit it. And I think right now he's kind of being too hesitant in the backfield, and unless you're Le'Veon Bell, that's not going to work for you. Trent Williams turned into Jerron Christian, and Baron Sheriff turned into Wes Schweitzer. Now every D-line has a field day against us. Yeah, I mean, those are definitely two downgrades, no doubt about it. Even though Wes Schweitzer has not been playing as bad as you may think, he's not Brandon Sheriff, and Jerron Christian's nowhere near Trent Williams. We can't get rid of him though because of cap room. I know, but no, wait, this is his last year, isn't it? Isn't he on his last year of his deal? Hold on. I think Kirk is on the third year of his deal. No, he has one more year. Oh, that sucks. Wait, did you guys extend him? Did you guys give him an extension? Because he only signed a 3-year deal. Oh, you guys are screwed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. You guys have Kirk Cousins in 2022 at a $45 million cap hit? No. Why? You only signed him to a 3-year deal, $84 million. What is this last year? What? I'm so confused. You guys give him an extension for $45 million? Oh my, whoever's doing your contracts needs to be fired, stat. Oh my God. Kirk Cousins is going to be a $45 million cap hit. You can't win with that. Oh my God, your cap is a disaster. In 2022, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people over $10 million. You can't build a roster like that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Vikings are in big trouble. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry, Josh. This is not going to be good for your Vikings. Whew, that's bad. Gibson will be McCaffrey once the O-line is fixed. He will be every down back soon. He will never be quite McCaffrey, but I think he is that style of running back, and I like Gibson a lot. Yeah, that's the bad part. I'm so sorry, Josh. That's unbelievable. I cannot believe it. It's so bad. Kirk sure did win, though, right, Mitchell? $45 million in 1 year for Kirk Cousins. Are you nuts? We didn't want to pay him 20. 45. Oh my goodness. Last play was a bullcrap call. I think that was incomplete. 100% Berkey. It was definitely incomplete. I don't know what they saw on the replay. That was nuts. Well, it's fun to be a Vikings fan. I can't wait for the future. I'm sorry. I did not know. What is this deal? I got to look this up. Did they sign Kirk to an extension? Because you guys initially only signed him to 3 years, $84 million. The contract extension is worth $66 million over 2 years, according to Rappaport. Oh my God, you guys are in trouble. And if Mike Zimmer is the one doing your roster, big problems. I 100% agree. Mike Zimmer needs to be fired if he is the one that signed off on this. Kirk Cousins is not good enough to pay that much money. Not even close. Not even remotely close. Like, that's so... unbelievable. That's like unforgivable. I mean, like... oh my goodness. Obviously, I know a lot about Kirk. He was here at Washington, Redskins. I mean, I know a lot about Kirk Cousins. And I know about what kind of quarterback he is. And I think he's an okay quarterback. As far as, like, if you were only paying him $20 million a year or something like that, I think he can win you some games because you can build a team around him. But $45 million in 1 year is unforgivable. That's after winning one game, give him more money. Great idea. I just don't understand it. You know, our regime at Washington was bad. It was a really bad regime. But one thing they did right was not overspend. You know, arguably they may have overspent on Josh Norman, but outside of that, they really didn't overspend on a lot of people. And that's why we didn't want to pay Kirk Cousins all that much money, is because he wasn't worth it. I mean, we paid him $24 million on the second franchise tag, and we were hurting by that. We were like, oh, that's too much money. We don't want to pay him that much. Now you're almost paying double, and that's insane. That's a bad day. I'm very sorry, Berkey and Josh. Josh Norman was not decent for us. He was a big flop. I mean, he was okay in Carolina, but he was not very good here. He was a weird dude. He had a weird personality. I don't know. He was not. He might be doing okay up in Buffalo because the Buffalo have a better front seven than we did at the time when he was here. Our front seven was abysmal, which is why we drafted 3 first-round defensive linemen. No, 4. Yeah, 4 first-round defensive linemen here in Washington. We had Jonathan Allen. We had Daron Payne, we had Montez Sweat, and we had Chase Young 4 years in a row. That is why our defensive line is a lot better, but we still need to make a lot more to it, and we have a lot of cap space. We have a lot of cap space next year, unlike Minnesota. Minnesota, what is your cap space? You guys are negative $8 million in cap next year. -8. Yeah, you're going to need to make some moves. And Kyle Rudolph and Adam Thielen are 2 of your biggest cap hits. So, yeah, I changed my mind. You need to make that trade. You need to get rid of Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph to go get Lattimore just to save your cap. Yeah, your cap is an abysmal situation. Unlike ours is actually pretty good, decent here in Washington. I think we have like 55, and that doesn't even include once we cut Alex Smith. We have next season, we have $56.5 million in cap space. And then once we cut Alex Smith, that will be in an additional 14, almost $15 million. So we'll have over $70 million in cap space here in Washington. And we have an opportunity to really build a team next year in free agency and the draft. Yeah, right now we only have 3 people next year that are a cap number. No, 4 people, including Jonathan Allen, that are a cap number over $10 million. But we're going to have to pay Jonathan Allen because next year is his final year on the rookie deal. So we will definitely pay Jonathan Allen soon because we like Jonathan Allen. and we should pay him soon. I think we should be paying him now. We should be writing it up. But go pay Jonathan Allen now. But, alrighty. What else we got here, ladies and gents? Norman works in the right system. He's not a bad player. I can agree with that. I can agree. He's not a shutdown corner by any stretch of your imagination. So that's what I mean, I guess, with that. But he's definitely not a shutdown corner. But yeah, when you have a good front seven in front of him, and he can play a zone and kind of read the quarterback's eyes and get an idea of where the quarterback wants to go with the football, that's where Josh Norman excels. And because he's a very, as he calls himself, a cerebral player. And he does. He thinks about the game a lot, and that's how he has to, because he's not very fast. He's kind of long. He has some long arms. I saw him in real life, and good grief, those things come down to his shins. I mean, it's ridiculous what he looks like. You know, it's crazy how long those dudes' arms are, and so that helps him. I think he's only 6 foot, but he probably has a wingspan of like 6'8", and it's crazy. So he's not bad, but he just wasn't good for us, is what I mean. DK Metcalf ended on a heck of a day, man. He saved my fantasy day. And Dalvin Cook getting hurt saved me too. Ended up beating my wife. Thank God. My wife was trying to beat me. Hey, we should look into Miles Jack. I liked Miles Jack coming out. I don't know what he's doing nowadays down in Jacksonville. Is he still in Jacksonville? Yeah, I want a good middle linebacker, and I think Miles Jack can be a good middle linebacker. So I like that trade, Chris. Daniel's contract is up soon, too. I like the new name. You started your sports talk yet? I hope you did, man. That's awesome. Daniel's contract is up soon, too. Daniels. For y'all. Let me go look here. Hold on. Where'd it go? Minnesota. Daniels contract is up soon. What do you mean by Daniels? Who's Daniel? I don't know who you're talking about, Josh. It's always QB talk, but any receivers you're interested in, I almost say go Jamar Chase and then Trey Lance round 2. Trey Lance will not last till round 2, and no, I have a very big bias against round 1 receivers unless they are Julio Jones style, 4'3", 6'4" receivers. I do not want anybody 6 foot or under in the first round. I think you can get some good Daniel Hunter. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know who that is, but is he on your team? I'm not familiar with Daniel Hunter at all. I don't even see him on your... Who's Daniel Hunter? Daniel Hunter. I don't think I've ever heard of that guy. Daniel Hunter. No, I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with Daniel Hunter. But no, I have a bias against round 1 receivers. Unless you're getting Julio or Calvin Johnson, somebody big and fast and can catch the ball, I do not want receivers, because you can get people like Devontae Adams in the second, Michael Thomas in the second. You can get Adam Thielen later in the draft. I think he may have been a 4th or a 5th. You can get Daniel Hunter. I don't see him on your cap at all. Daniel Hunter. How much are you paying him? He's not even near the top. Daniel Hunter. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, but you can get Terry McLaurin in the 3rd. You can get Antonio Brown in the 4th, I think it was. You can get there's so much talent later in the Stephon Diggs was a later round pick. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, DK Metcalf was near a late 2nd round. It's CeeDee Lamb is 6'2" and can run really fast, and he's great. So CeeDee Lamb is might be one of those exceptions. You know, he's as short as I would be okay with going. Chase Claypool was I think he was a 2nd round pick. Chase Claypool, maybe even a 3rd. Absolutely, Chase Claypool was somebody I may have even looked in the 1st because he was a 4'3" dude running 6'5". I said that backwards. He was a 6'5" dude running a 4'3". 4.3 second 40-yard dash. Let me say it right. And he is he's another guy that maybe I would go in the 4th round. And DK Metcalf, 6'4", running a 4.3 40. These are the guys that I would be interested in taking in the 1st round. But I don't want to take your Marquise Browns or your Corey Colemans or your even your Will Fullers. These guys, I mean, yeah, they're fine weapons, but these are guys you can get later in the draft that can be really, really good for you. And AJ Brown, how tall is AJ Brown? AJ Brown is good for the Titans. I will give you that one. AJ Brown is 6 foot, 165. He looks way bigger than 165. Is he really? No way. He looks huge out there. He must wear a lot of padding around him. I thought A.J. Brown was a lot bigger than that. I mean, A.J. Brown's pretty good. I'm not going to lie about A.J. Brown. But my point is that you can get good receivers later in the draft. I do not like drafting receivers early. And also, think about this. Who's the best receiver to win the Super Bowl in the last 20 years? Marvin Harrison 15 years ago or whatever? I mean, Larry Fitz got there, he lost. Julio Jones got there, he lost. But I mean, Patriots keep winning. They haven't had receivers really to win. And when they had Randy Moss, they lost. Odell Beckham never won. They won Super Bowls without him. I mean, you have the top receivers never win Super Bowls. Your best receivers never win. Receivers are a nice thing to have as an addition. Oh, I mean, Tyreek Hill. I guess Tyreek Hill last year was the first one that was really, really good to win the Super Bowl. But you kind of build around Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill was Tyreek Hill was a later round draft. Wasn't he a 3rd or 4th round pick? Yeah, so these things, I just don't like drafting a receiver early. Left tackles are something you draft early because most of your best left tackles in the league are 1st round picks. Those are very important. So I like left tackles early. I like quarterbacks early. I know there's some examples of late round quarterbacks, but I like a good quarterback early. I'm okay with that because that can change your entire franchise when you get a great quarterback. So getting a quarterback is good. And I don't mind a player maybe a middle linebacker. Oh, defensive end is another one that I'm completely good with. You have your Khalil Macks, you have your Von Millers. These guys that can get to the quarterback, those are good to draft early. I like middle linebackers. A good high IQ, big, mean linebacker like those. I don't mind safeties. I don't really like drafting corners early. Tight end, I don't like them early. George Kittle and Travis Kelce are both later round picks. TJ Hawkinson was an early round pick. That kind of meh. I don't really like, is he really doing anything great as a 1st round pick? I don't like running backs early at all, even though there's been some really good running backs early in the draft. Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, Zeke Elliott, Saquon Barkley. These guys are awesome. They're fantastic. Dalvin Cook's a 2nd round pick. Alvin Kamara's a 3rd round pick. Derrick Henry, I don't know where he was drafted, but he was a flop in the beginning anyway. But you can get, look around the league, and there's some later round picks at running back. And running backs are a dime a dozen. It's more of your system that you can get a good running back. Obviously, Saquon Barkley's not a dime a dozen, but I like running backs later. So these are kind of my things that I think of draft strategy personally. So I do not want to go Jamar Chase, even though he probably could be a good weapon. I just wouldn't go him. Rethinking, I want a steal like McLaurin and an O-line pick, maybe round 2, Trey Lance in 1. Yeah, I agree. I like steals late in the draft because we still also have people that can come back, like Kelvin Harmon. We have EJ Manuel, who got hurt in the offseason. That could be interesting. So we have some guys that got hurt in the offseason that could come back and still be decent for us. So receivers are somebody that you can go get later in the draft, personally. Yeah, he does look huge. Right? A.J. Brown, 165 pounds. That must be when he came out of college, and he must have bulked up because there's no way he's 165 pounds in the NFL right now. That sounds ridiculous. The reason I say he's getting up there in age, I guess you're talking about Thielen and Rudolph. Yeah, or are you talking about Hunter? I really don't even know who this Hunter guy is. It's hilarious. No, Harrison Smith. You mentioned Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith is getting up there, and he's fantastic. I love Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith is still a dog. Y'all defense just trash now. Hasn't been good since Jared Allen. Yeah, I love Harrison Smith. Would it be good with a team like us, him and Cameron Curl back there? Woo-wee! Cameron Curl got smoked by Cooper Kupp today, though. Tyreek Hill was drafted in the 5th round. Exactly. You can get good receivers later in the draft. You do not need to draft them really high, okay? These are guys. Receiver is a fun position that kids like to play, so there's a lot of good, talented receivers, right? I mean, when you grow up, receivers is a fun, flashy position to have, and so you have a lot of guys there that can play the position. So it's okay to not do that. Just one bad play, just one. It's okay. He got smoked on that play. I was told to go back and look by somebody earlier today that I need to go back and watch the film, and I'm going to watch every Landon Collins play. Probably tomorrow. I'm going to go back and watch every single Landon Collins play and see how bad he truly was. Daniel Hunter. Now I'm just going to Google him. Daniel Hunter. He's a Jamaican-American professional football defensive end for Minnesota Vikings. He played the college. He's right there. And it says he's in Minnesota. Now I'm going to slow it down. Where in the world is Daniel Hunter? I don't see him on this list. I don't understand. Why is he not listed on over the cap as far as somebody that's on your cap space? I don't get it. I really don't. Oh, he's on IR. That's why. $9 million on IR. That would be why I don't see him on the rest of it. What if we convert Apke into receiver in the offseason? He can clearly run and catch, and he's great at avoiding the guy in front of him. So maybe some deep ball separation. That's a classic, Waspus. That's a classic. What if we convert... I'm going to read it again. What if we convert Apke into a wide receiver in the offseason? He can clearly run and catch, and he's great at avoiding the guy in front of him. So maybe some deep ball separation. That is awesome. I wish I could like a... Can I? What is this? Report? I need a report for being too funny. No, I wish I could like it. That's funny. How dare he ask to wear Sean Taylor's number, not playing like that? I know, right? He need to go $84 million worth of garbage going down the drain. Apke sucks. He can't do it. He can't do nothing. If anything, put him in kick return. True. He was supposed to come back in week 3. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, right now Over the Cap has him as a $9 million cap hit in the injured reserve, so that's why I couldn't find him. But I don't know much about Daniel Hunter at all. I'm not going to lie to you. So I don't have an opinion on what to do with Daniel Hunter. I've never thought in a million years I'd be talking about Daniel Hunter for 5-10 minutes on my podcast. Not what I expected to do, especially when he didn't even play today. That's hilarious. But yeah, and it's really, it sucks that freaking Dwayne Haskins took number 7, right? Joe Theismann's number, and it seems like he's flopping out. And it's, that was a thing in the beginning too, because it's like when Joe Theismann talked to him, and he's basically like, "Hey man, look, number 7 already has a lot of history behind it in my name for the Washington Redskins. Why not take another number and start your own legacy and not live in number 7's shadow?" And he basically said, "Yeah, I don't care about that. I want number 7." And it's kind of an ego thing, and I don't like it, to be honest. It's something that you don't think about if Haskins is playing well. You don't care about that, but because he's not playing well, it's something that it's a knock against him, in my opinion. We get a quick dub against the Giants. That's 2-4, 2 divisional wins. Yeah, we'll be number 1. Woohoo! We'll be number 1 in this horrible division. Our division is bad. The NFC East is some trash. Dallas almost lost to the Giants. It came down to a last-second field goal to the Giants. 37-34. The Giants. It's bad. Eagles has the Ravens next week. That's an L. Agreed. And then, what do I do with Juju? What did he do today against the Eagles? Box score. Juju. 4 catches, 28 yards for Juju. Yeah, Chase Claypool stole the day. 7 catches, 3 touchdowns, 110 yards. I had him on my bench. 45 points on the bench. Tough one to do. Yeah, it sucks. I think Juju, I still am going to hold out a little bit longer on Juju. I think he can be a decent receiver for them. And I'm going to hold out a little bit longer on Juju. I think he's okay. What do you think we should do then to rebuild? The Vikings? The Vikings. I mean, you guys are in trouble. I hate to say that. I would love to give you some hope, but your cap situation is absolutely abysmal, and you just put yourself in such a huge hole with this Kirk Cousins contract to be in 2022 a $45 million cap hit, and next year he's going to be a $31 million cap hit. Right now he's only a $21 million cap hit. That's nice. I don't know what to do. I just can't believe it. I mean, even if you cut him at $45 million, you're only going to save $10 million against the cap, so you're still in a big hole there. You do have $43 million in cap space in 2022, but that's not even that much, because that stuff can add up. As soon as you sign a couple guys, that adds up real quick. So the Vikings to rebuild, I don't know. I hate to be so bleak, I would love to try to find something for you, but you have no cap space next year. You're literally negative $8 million. You're kind of in a position where you needed to win now, and obviously that's not going to happen at 1-4 in a division like the Green Bay Packers. So that was such a bad move to sign Kirk Cousins to this deal. I mean, that's absolutely stupid and insane and mind-boggling. I don't know why they did that. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I really don't. I'm sorry. Christopher's Cowboys has the Cardinals. Oh, yep, we'll be back on top next week. DeAndre Hopkins is going to go bonkers. Yeah, he should have a great day. Devmark Cabello, what should I do? You tell me what the question is, and I will tell you what I think. I could tell you I would either cut or trade Cousins, trade Adam Thielen for a third rounder, cut Kyle Rudolph, trade Harrison Smith for another pick, and tank to get a new QB to pair with. Sign Haskins for a few bucks, then give us Harrison Smith. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess looking at what potentially cap savings you can do. Adam Thielen's $8 million, Anthony Barr's $7 million, Harrison Smith's $10 million, Daniel Hunter's $5.5 million. You can save. Kyle Rudolph's $5 million. Riley Reef is 11, almost 12 million cap space. Eric Kendricks 2.5, Shamar Stevens 3.7. So yeah, you're definitely. Who's this? Hold on. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to get a new left tackle. I would probably draft a left tackle and cut Riley Reef. And you can save $12 million against the cap there. That's huge. You're not drafting a quarterback because you're paying your quarterback way too much money. So quarterback's off the table. You have Kirk Cousins. That's what you have. So I would probably try to go get a cheaper, younger left tackle because Riley Reef is 32 years old as of this moment. Harrison Smith, yeah, you may end up having to try to restructure with him or getting him off the books because what is Harrison Smith's age right now? Harrison Smith is 31. I still like him for leadership, but with this cap situation, you may have to end up cutting him. Anthony Barr, I know I like him a lot, so I wouldn't get rid of him. You do have some interesting young receiver. Well, you have a young receiver with Justin Jefferson, so yeah, you probably have to get rid of Adam Thielen and make a move in the draft to get some younger receivers. Justin Jefferson's really, really good for you, so that's good that you hit on Justin Jefferson last draft. So yeah, I would definitely get rid of Adam Thielen. I think I'm getting rid of Harrison Smith. I'm getting rid of Riley Reef. And that can save you on some cap space. I would draft a left tackle, draft some late round receivers, and yeah, you don't have any real, like, even with that cap, you still don't even have that much in cap space. Maybe go sign a corner in the offseason. I think that's where I would go, to be honest. Then you'll have your rebuild. Your QB will be nice and be in place. You'll have a top 5 RB and a stud receiver. And in later rounds, get another receiver and draft a safety and corner and sign a linebacker. Yeah, it's interesting. Chris is what you could do with Cousins is restructure his contract to make it more cap friendly, tank for Trevor, and make Cousins his backup. That ain't happening. You're not drafting a quarterback with that. It's just not happening. Help Scary Terry for Mostert or Terry Devin for Mostert Chark. Team is Lamar, Cook, Jamal Robinson, DJ Moore, Terry, Mark Andrews, Will Fuller. Bench is Eckler, Devin Singletary, Lindsey, Debo, Jonnu, and Schultz. Yeah, you're definitely in trouble with running back help. I'm assuming this is like a 12-man league, Devin or Devmark. Your receivers will then be DJ Moore, Terry, Will. No Terry. So it would be DJ Moore, Will Fuller, Debo. If you can get Mostert and Chark for Terry and Devin Singletary, I would definitely do that if I was in your case. I would 100% do that. That would be a great move for you. I'd also be curious on who's on your waiver wire. You don't need that many tight ends. Maybe you can trade a tight end. Maybe you can get a low-end running back for a tight end from somebody, for one of your tight ends. You have 3 decent tight ends. You know, like maybe you can get rid of Mark Andrews and keep Jonnu Smith, and Mark Andrews might be able to get you some yield in a trade. So I would be looking to trade my tight end if I were you. That's what I would do. I would try to keep your receivers because your receivers are not that good already. They're okay. They're not terrible. But I think you want to keep the depth that you do have, and I would trade one of your tight ends. All right, that's what's going on. No time soon. Yeah, Terry's not going anywhere. Exactly. 10-man PPR. 10 man? Oh, jeez. Yeah, you drafted Lamar early, so that hurt your situation there. But I mean, you did draft Cook and Eckler. I mean, those are really two good running backs. It's just unfortunately they got hurt, and that also and then since you drafted Lamar early, you did not get a top tier receiver, so that hurts. I would get rid of your. I would try to get rid of a tight end and see if somebody would give you maybe a low to mid running back situation. Go to somebody with a lot of running backs and hopefully they don't have a tight end. That's what I would try to do. To be honest, you could get rid of Cousins. There are teams that would trade for him. No, there's not. Not with that contract. You're not getting rid of Cousins. Cousins is yours for the next couple of years. You're not getting rid of him. It's unfortunately. Try and pick up Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman right now is on the Giants. So I don't. As far as fantasy, yeah. I mean, if you can get Devontae Freeman, that's awesome. But I doubt that he's available. But in the same time, 10-man PPR, there's probably a lot out there on the free agency that I would look into. You know, Madison might be an option for you to get on the waivers. So that's something I would definitely look at is trying to get Madison if he's out there. But yeah, I would try to get rid of one of your tight ends. That would be my suggestion. Jets are looking to move Le'Veon and Sam Darnold. I don't want Le'Veon. His contract's too big. Sam Darnold's... I don't know about Sam Darnold. Honestly, it was the worst contract agreement we've done. It's insane. I don't know what you guys are seeing in Kirk Cousins. Like, I don't know. I don't know what he's like. I know he's a good dude. You know, he's a good locker room guy to have on your team. He's a wholesome guy. He's a good guy, right? And he's an okay quarterback. But I guess he's a guy that can lead your team as far as somebody that's not a locker room cancer at all. He can get the people around him, but he's just not good enough to pay that much money, in my opinion. No, I'm not saying we should trade or take him. I'm saying they're there. Yeah, I think Le'Veon should go to. I would love to see Le'Veon Bell in a Rams uniform. I think Le'Veon Bell would be fantastic in a Rams offense. That's where I think he should go. Sam Darnold, yeah, I mean, that's somebody that maybe the Bears are looking at, or maybe Pittsburgh would like him as their backup to Big Ben and potential successor. I don't mind that at all. So, yeah, I think that's where I'll go. And maybe, no, Sam Darnold would be really good in the Patriots uniform, I think. No, but the Jets wouldn't trade him to the Patriots, would they? I think that's a perfect situation for Sam Darnold is to go to the Patriots. Hello, RG3 is a free agent after this year. Yeah, he may sign with the Ravens again. I think they like him as a backup to be able to run a similar style to Lamar. I think they like him in the locker room. I don't think he's being a problem in the locker room, and I think Lamar likes him as well. So RG3 will re-sign with Baltimore, I believe. Nope, Haskins to the Bears. I would love that. As I said, if we could make that trade, that would be good. Haskins to Falcons. I'm calling it. They have one of the worst caps in the league, and their secondary can't afford to pay a QB when Matt retires, which should be soon. Yeah, but you can't wait for Matt to retire with Haskins because Haskins is going to want a big contract, a quarterback-style contract. Not a big contract, but, you're going to have to pay him. So I don't think so. Yeah, Haskins to the Falcons doesn't seem realistic to me. I think Haskins to the Bears is much more realistic. It's no worse than the trade they made for Mitch Trubisky. That was hot garbage. The worst trade I've ever seen. No, the worst trade I ever seen. This is a funny one. I'm going to give you guys a minute. You tell me who the worst draft pick was in NFL history. The worst draft pick ever. Or like the worst draft move, whatever, worst thing on draft day you have ever seen. And I promise you, if you don't say what I'm saying, I will beat whoever you're going to say. It's bad. Should I start? I'm going to answer this, and then I want some people in the comments of who you think is the worst. Should I start Jonnu Smith or Hunter Henry PPR? I like Jonnu Smith a lot. Hunter Henry with, what's his name? The quarterback they just drafted. Oh, you can see it from Oregon. Oh my God. I can't think of his name. It was Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert. With Justin Herbert, I like. I don't mind Hunter Henry, but I really like Jonnu Smith. I think Jonnu Smith is really good. Okay, so here we go. We got Johnny Manziel and we have Jamarcus Russell. Okay, I promised you I would beat it. And it is his name's funky, so I gotta look up his name again. Hold on. I know exactly who it is. And I also want to look up the details of this. This is hilarious. Okay. The worst draft pick in history. In 2016, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traded 2 draft picks. Okay? 2 draft picks to move up in the second round to take Roberto Aguayo, a kicker, and by the preseason the next year, he was cut. They traded 2 draft picks and took a second-round draft pick on a kicker who did not even stay on your team for more than a year and a half. The worst draft move. Who in the world thought that kicker was going to go somewhere? I mean, what in the world were they thinking? They drafted a kicker in the second round. And not only did they draft a kicker in the second round, they traded away 2 draft picks for it. It's the worst draft pick in NFL draft move in NFL history that you have ever seen in your entire life. It's worse than Jamarcus Russell. It's worse than Johnny Manziel. It's worse than Tim Couch. It's worse than anything you've ever seen. Like, it's so hilarious because he's not even a kicker in the NFL anymore, and you traded away 2 picks and wasted a second-round pick on a kicker. That is the facts. No kicker will ever be like Tucker. I can see if it was Justin Tucker, right? Exactly. Like, if it was one of these kickers, okay, then maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. But not only is it just stupid, and I would still say you were stupid for doing that for Justin Tucker, to be honest. But still, you don't do that for any kicker, let alone a kicker that missed. He missed like some ungodly enough. Angoyo missed an extra point in a 47-yard field goal attempt in the preseason opener Friday night, prompting reporters to ask Coach Dirk Quoter afterwards if he had just kicked himself out of a job. Well, that's something that will definitely be talked about. You know, I keep saying, I can't say it anymore. If you're a kicker, you've got to make your kicks. Aguayo said he just got unlucky on the missed extra point. Honestly, the extra point felt good, he said. When I caught it, I knew I pushed it a little, and I was like, hopefully it will stay in. It hit the upright, unlucky, and the last one I was trying to get a good hit on. I hit it good, and it just started to fade. Not what you want, not what I wanted. Obviously not up to standards that I want. You just keep your head up and move on to your next day. Oh my goodness. He still hit just 22 of 31 field goal attempts. Hold on. Aguayo also stunk it up in early going last year. Yeah. So 22 of 31 field goal attempts, 71% success rate, which is putting him at the bottom of the NFL's kicking list. Hilarious. I know the Redskins aren't that good, but what if they trade Tressway? He's a stud, but what is a good punter on a team that sucks? We could use him as leverage. Don't you dare trade away my MVP of this team. Don't you dare say it again, Mitchell Wasmus. Tressway will retire a Redskin. He's awesome. I love him. Do not trade him away. I don't care what we would get for him. Do not trade away my punter. excuse me, Adam Vinatieri is the best kicker maybe in like 20 years, but I don't know. Adam Vinatieri is the most clutch kicker, okay? Especially that one where he kicked in the snow against Oakland to save the day for their Tom Brady. But he is the most clutch kicker. And Justin Tucker is a fantastic kicker. He's one of the best. But one of my favorites is Sebastian Janikowski, the old Oakland kicker. My man had a huge leg. The dude could probably kick from 70, dude. The guy was a monster. Big dude. Big, burly guy. Huge leg. Love me some Sebastian Janikowski. That's one of my favorite kickers. Mark Mosley, of course, the MVP. Man, the MVP of the 83 season, right? 82-83? Yeah, the 82-83 season, right? Or was it 81-82? No, I forget. Early 80s, Mark Mosley. Fantastic kicker. One MVP. A toe kicker. He kicked it straight on. No soccer kick. It was a straight on kicker. In college, we had a toe kicker at my school, Rockford University. We had a guy, he had the special cleat with the special boot on it, and he would kick it straight on. He was okay. I mean, we didn't have great anything there at Rockford University, but hey, he was a kicker. Kicked better than me. Oh, well, Morgan Moses is the worst right tackle in the league. That's not true, but he's not great. But that's not true, okay? Our offensive line did not play good today. That's a fact. It's a fact. But another big problem is that, no, that goes to the Eagles RT who played against us. Well, their RT is usually decent in the Eagles uniform, but the right tackle got moved to left tackle because Andre Dillard was hurt. And because Andre Dillard is their left tackle, who's a really, really good left tackle, and then their right tackle had to move to left tackle, but then the right tackle that was backup was real bad. He's so trash, man. Our O-line can't block air. It sucks. Our O-line did really poorly today. There's no doubt about it. And, 8 sacks or something like that on the day. What was the final for the sack count? NFL scores. God, did you guys see? Okay, I know you guys heard that Dak Prescott got hurt, but did you see the play that he got hurt? I was watching it live, and I actually really wasn't watching that game too much. I actually happened to walk by in the living room where my wife's brother was watching the game, and I watched it, and he was making a nice run. He was freaking getting it. He was making some dudes miss, got it, whatever. And then the dude landed, and he freaking broke his ankle. And I didn't see that at first, but he sits down on his butt, and he grabs his leg, and he lifts it up, and his freaking he's like, his leg just starts flopping. He's like, and he starts pointing at it. It was so disgusting. I started screaming, "Oh no! Oh no!" My wife in the other room was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing. It's just a dude got hurt." But yeah, it was brutal watching that injury. But we can go back to the football team. Team stats. Yeah, sacks on the day, box score. Yeah, 8 sacks for minus 41 yards. That's it's really bad. But our offense was so stagnant today also because we couldn't throw the ball in the second half because the ball was stupid wet. It was raining like crazy. It sucked. Both offenses sucked in the second half. Do you think Ryan Shazier would be a Hall of Famer contender if he wasn't paralyzed? I don't think so. I don't think of Ryan Shazier as a Hall of Famer personally. I don't think so. Why don't we utilize a fullback? We're not throwing it downfield. An extra blocker helps. They, instead of a fullback, they like to use motions and stuff to try to make it where you get the defense out of position so they don't want the extra blocker. So I don't mind. I really don't hate our offense. I don't think that the offense is the problem. We went against a really the best player in the league, arguably, in Aaron Donald. He had 3 sacks on us today by himself, and Brockers is really good as another defensive end. So we went against a good team, and our line is not very good. And then it was raining like crazy, and we were down big, and we had to throw the ball. So they got to pin their ears back, and then we weren't even able to throw the ball really well because of the rain. So it's just a struggle there. I don't think so. Chris, we ain't got no fullback. Fullback is actually Ryan Anderson. That lets you know what we think of him. That man's trash. Yeah, I mean it's bad with. I don't think we. I don't hate the fact that we don't have a fullback. I really don't. I don't think that that's a big deal. That's not the reason that we're losing, in my opinion. Throw Apke in there at fullback. But, he can't block anybody, right? He avoids contact. Throwback to Jay Gruden talking about Josh Norman when he jumped over the bull over there in Spain. And he goes, yeah, I'm not surprised he didn't get hit. He likes to avoid the contact. Throwback. Montez Sweat is good. I wanted to draft him at number 15 that year. I'm so glad that we traded up to get him. I wish we didn't have to trade up because then we got rid of another second-round pick. But I love Montez Sweat, and he's fantastic. Another 4-4 guy at the defensive end. I love him. How are you a linebacker and play fullback? They're comparable position. They meet in the hole. They block each other. It's not that far off. I mean, that's kind of they're very similar, right? They try to hit the holes and they hit them hard and they freaking try to knock the other dude's head off. It's very similar. That's why. But the thing is that he's not even a linebacker anymore. He's a defensive end. That's how we play him. We don't put him at linebacker at all. Ryan Anderson is not a linebacker whatsoever for our defense. He gets more play time than I actually want him to, believe it or not, Chris. He's on the field more than I would like him to. Why should we should try Tressway on kickoff and get a new kicker? I don't like Hopkins anymore. I completely agree. I'm not a Hopkins fan. I would like to see a new kicker. Pierre Lewis can't cover. Pierre Lewis was a struggle. All our linebackers. Bostic was a struggle. I mean, it was our linebackers were not very good. Yeah, Thomas Davis was struggling. It's our linebackers were a problem today. That's no doubt. They were able to run the ball very efficiently. 35 carries, 129 yards today on the ground for them. I mean, it sucked. Thomas Davis sucks. He's old as I think he's 37 years old. He really is that old. I'm almost positive. I miss Leonard too. London Fletcher was great. Small dude, like a stocky guy, short dude, I should say. Love London Fletcher. I had his jersey for a long time. I think I let somebody borrow it and I didn't get it back. It was also stained. I don't even know what's got it on stained. It sucked. Holy moly, it's 1 a.m. Been almost 2 hours. I got work in just a few hours here. I gotta be in Chantilly, Virginia. It's 6 a.m. It's 1 a.m. right now. A guy that should be in the Hall of Fame that isn't. He's a cornerback. Guess who? A guy that should be in the Hall of Fame that isn't. He's a cornerback. Guess who? Is he for us? D'Angelo Hall? You think D'Angelo Hall? I don't think that's the guy that he's talking about. Dante Hall might be in the Hall of Fame. He played for the Eagles and Patriots. Played for the Eagles and Patriots. I'm just thinking of like Ty Law. Is that who you're thinking of? Or Asante Samuels? Asante Samuels? Is that who you're thinking of? Yep, I said it. Haha. Asante Samuels. Yeah, he's really, really good. He was good back in the day. I liked Asante Samuel a lot. Who do you think was the fastest NFL player to play the game? The fastest NFL player to play the game. I mean, somebody who was ridiculously fast that you may not know Joshua Mills is a Redskins player, Darrell Green. Darrell Green was a ridiculous fast player that he played for the Redskins. He ran down a lot of people that would be surprised. Who was the running back for Dallas before Emmitt Smith? They had another guy that he ran him down easily. Dry Archer. I'm not familiar with that guy at all. Dry Archer. Have you seen his punt coverage play where he chased the guy 40 yards? You talking about Darrell Green? Yeah, Darrell Green. He chased down a lot of guys that you would be. Dre. No, it says Dry Archer. DRI Archer. Dry Archer or whatever. Unless they call him Dre, that's kind of weird, I think. But what was his 40-yard dash? I'm kind of curious now. But Darrell Green apparently run an unofficial 3.9. Dre Archer, that's weird. It's DRI Archer. What in the world? 4.2 second 40 time. That's freaking flying. Like Trey? Or Tree? Oh, it's Dree. I see what you're saying. Dree Archer. Okay. I thought you were saying Dre. But no, okay, like Tree. Got it. That's why you put the multiple E's. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Dree Archer, man. Okay. 4.26 second 40. I mean, that's flying, no doubt. John Ross is a flyer. Man, Tyreek Hill is really fast too. Lamar Jackson's fast, but I don't think he's necessarily the fastest. Michael Vick was super fast back in the day. Brandon Banks was fast. Brandon Banks. Not familiar with Brandon Banks, I don't think. Oh, yes. Okay, I forgot that his name was Brandon. I remember he was a punt returner for us. I remember that. I remember now. I did not think, for some reason I thought his first name was different than Brandon. But no, I remember him playing for us back in 2010, 2012. Deshaun Jackson's super fast. I like that one. Devin Hester, I don't think it's as fast as you may think. He's fast, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's one of the fastest, though. And desensitized Jackson? What kind of autocorrect is that? Bob Hayes? How fast was he? Oh, wait. Is this guy the slowest of all time? Oh, never mind. Holy, no. Hold up. If this is true, this guy might be one of the fastest of all time. This says he ran a 5.280, excuse me, a 5.28 60-yard dash. Yeah, he would be the fastest player if that is proven to be a fact. 5.28 60-yard dash is just stupid. The only person on Madden with 100 overall speed is Devin Hester. What did Devin Hester even run in the 40? Like, I know he's an amazing returner. He ran a 4.41. I know he was fast, and he's probably faster on the field than when he ran. But I don't think Devin Hester was. You can't go off Madden ratings, man. Come on, Madden ratings, really? We talking about Madden? We talking about Madden? Samuel Adams? I don't remember this name. I'm assuming you mean NFL, because obviously Sam Adams is a beer. Hold on. Sam Adams, former freshman defensive tackle. No, that's not him. Who's Samuel Adams? Samuel Adams. I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, is this one of the slowest dudes? He looks huge. Oh my god, that's a mountain. Oh, fuck Josh Morgan. Don't ever bring up Josh Morgan again in my chat. Fucking hate Josh Morgan. I was at that game where Josh Stupid Morgan threw the frickin' ball at Cortland Finnegan in St. Louis. I was there. I went to school up in Northern Illinois. It was a 5-hour drive. I bought tickets because they were like less than $20 a ticket. I was like, oh, I'm going to that. That's a fact. So I hopped in a car, went all the way down there. It was a good game. We ended up losing this game 31-28 because fucking Josh Morgan. I hate Josh Morgan. Yeah, Bob Hayes won world records in the Olympics for his speed. You might be right. I mean, that was an intense 5.28 60-yard dash is ridiculous. I didn't know people could run that fast. I mean, that's insane speed. So you may have a winner there. It might be Bob Hayes. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking around. I got to get to bed. And as I said, I got to work in just a few hours. But I will be back tomorrow night for Monday Night Football. We have, double check, I believe it's the Saints. The Saints and somebody. Who is it? The Saints and the Chargers. We will see Justin Herbert live in the flesh for the first time on the channel. I have yet to watch this guy live. I've seen highlights. I like what I see for Justin Herbert. And thank you for the new subscribers tonight. We will be back tomorrow night after the game, maybe a little bit before the end of the game if it's a close one. And until next time, see ya!